On page 4 of your study guide, we'll actually start looking at practices for chemical and physical change. And we will notice in this case, we have water molecules changing from liquid to gas, and it says it's a physical change. The reason why it's a physical change is when we look in the particle level, when we zoom in, we see that a water particles is simply, which something that we saw in the last unit. What's difference between water in the steam phase and water as a liquid is the amount of energy that a particle has, which result in different spacing. So really, when you boil water, you still have water. The particles or molecules, if you rather call it that way, just have has different. They just have a different amount of energy and spacing between them, but it's still water. So that's a physical change. Just spacing is changing, or the state or the way that water particles are being arranged is really changing. So a major difference between a physical and a chemical change is that a chemical change will result in separation of atoms. Or, for example, here we have propane molecules, and when they react with oxygen, you're really breaking up the propane molecule. You're literally separating all the atoms apart, and then they're going to combine with oxygen, and you will be making something that is completely different that was not there before. However, in a physical change, like you can see here with CO2, um, going from dry ice or solid carbon dioxide into gaseous or carbon dioxide gas, which we know sublimation directly from solid to gas, we are not breaking up the carbon dioxide molecules apart. We're not tearing them, the carbon and the oxygen apart. We're just separating the molecules. So physical change usually will result in separation by spacing or orientation of the whole particles. However, in a chemical change, we are really changing how the particles are being organized within a substance, and we are breaking them apart and not really just a matter of rearranging the molecules or the particles. And another example of a physical change is when you're dissolving. And again, when you dissolve things, you got sugar all grouped together. These are the sugar molecules. And then when you add it in water, what's simply happening is the water molecules are now getting between the sugar molecules. So the sugar is just hiding um, behind the water molecules. And when light scatters, since they're being evenly spread out, you won't be able to detect the sugars in there. But the sugar is really, the molecule is really in there, has not been destroyed. It's still in there, it's just hiding behind the water molecule. And however, when you do have a chemical change, again, like you have here, we are completely breaking apart the molecules and reorganizing them in a way that they are making new stuff.